Good evening. My name is Tiffany Sammons, and I'll be your host today. We are talking with Crystal Sammons on what is art to you. So I have a list of questions here, and me and Crystal are going to discuss, and she's going to give me her thoughts and answers about everything. So the first question is, why do you create what you create?
Because I want people to know that I'm not just a little person and that I can actually, have more to do and that I want them to know what's actually deep inside me and what I feel, and since I can't, sometimes write it on a piece of paper or sometimes speak it, I want to show it. And sometimes I'm not good at that, I want to show it in my art.
So you want to show people that you're not, past the physical outlook of you. You want to show people the personal,
Yeah.
your personality, and exactly how you think and work. Awesome. So, how do you create?
I use drawing, painting, pictures, and then sometimes I use objects, building up blocks, putting stuff inside like stackables or trash stuff or stuff that you don't want anymore, stuff that you're gonna throw away,
Yeah.
anything, and then you just you can spray paint or anything if you want, and then you put it into anything you don't have to put it in a box, but you can put it into anything you want. And you show it to people if you want to show them what you made, but show them what you want them to see. What you want them to see. What you're seeing, but you also want them to see it too.
Not interesting. So when you're creating, what type of senses do you use?
I use
visual,
and then I use hearing.
Visual, like paintings and
I use paintings and drawings and
when you're putting all the stuff in the box, let's have a visual outlook.
And then hearing, I use music.
Well, do you listen to all types of music or a specific
I use it
time?
All types of music. Sometimes I listen to mostly all types of music. I do sometimes write songs sometimes, and most of the time I just listen to it all the time. Music all the time.
Wow. So when your work is finished, how do you know?
Well, I get this feeling inside me that I just get a chill or something, a big happiness or something, that it's going really well. And so then once I know it's finished, because that I have been picturing it in my head, or I have drawn it on a piece of paper, and it looks just like the piece of paper or the picture in my brain, in my mind, that it looks just like it, or that I at least want it to look like, and that's how I know it's done.
So when you're drawing a picture, you have I have this image, this is what I want, and when you get to the point where it looks exactly like you envisioned, and then you know, I'm done. How does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels like I'm officially made something good, and it makes me happy because I actually made something progress.
That was on your mind.
Yes.
You just had to get it out, and it's enjoyment. I see. So when you're creating and you talk about you get all this feeling, so you believe emotions are a big part of art.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because if emotions don't affect you, then what does your project really mean? What are you really saying in your project if emotions really don't affect you? If your life doesn't affect you, then what does your project really mean? What are you really saying in your project?
I see. So you're saying that people, especially because humans are big on emotions, that's what runs their creativity and their art.
People are probably, I don't know if they're really doing this, but to me, people are probably making paintings, drawings, probably making music too, and art, objects. they're all doing it because that's how they feel. They're feeling something inside, and the objects they're making, or art paintings and all that, is the stuff they're making is the feeling they have inside. That's what makes it. Is the feeling inside.
So that creativity and everything is flowing, and
all the emotions, all the stuff,
and the emotions are what's running the creativity. And because if you feel angry, you feel like maybe destruction or blackness, or you know, all these different types of feelings that express you. All right, so you're talking about, we've been talking about the emotions and creating the, you know, this is the purpose. So when the art is created and somebody comes up and goes, so what is the statement? Does there have to be a statement? Does there have to be something there? Be like, well, this is what I was feeling and this is why I did it.
Yes, mostly yes. Because someone might want to know why you did it.
You want to make a connection to the artist.
Yes. You might want to, people will want to ask why you felt like you wanted to make this. Why, and if you say, oh, it's because it's pretty. I had to, like, something was pretty and I decided to make it.
You have to describe why it was pretty. So
you have to describe why it's pretty. Yeah, pretty is a statement, yes. But you have to describe why. So that people might think it's pretty, but also you have to describe why it's pretty. You have to describe why you think you made it. Why did you want to do it? Why did it make you feel like you wanted to draw it or to paint it or to make an object of it? So that I asked them, why? What were you feeling? What do you think the artist was feeling? It's not so much that we understand. We want to understand what the art piece is about, but we also want to understand what the artist was feeling at that time, right? All right. So, to add on to that, you know, many people have, like, looked at them like, oh, man, this art is so beautiful. Or, wow, it's so ugly. Almost too ugly that it's so beautiful. Can they be ugly or both, or ugly or beautiful? I mean, they can be possible? Both. They can be both. And because if a person is feeling like crappy, no offense, crappy or, you know, feeling gross or whatever, they will probably make that. I'll make a painting of it or drawing, whatever. They'll make a object of it or a artwork of it. Would you consider someone whose artwork is dark and disturbing to be ugly? Depending on the emotion they're sharing, because destruction is kind of an ugly thing. Depends on what they're trying to tell. Because it depends on what they're actually making, and it depends on what they're actually trying to tell people, what they're feeling or what they're trying to show. It all depends on the person that is making it. And it depends on the object. Each artwork is so unique, you couldn't really even generalize it. You really, none of your statements that people, you know, all saying like, you're giving your opinion to this one, giving an opinion to that one, none of your opinions are going to be wrong or right. None of them. They can all be right, they can all be wrong. You can't tell which one is going to be right and which one is wrong. All you can do is just give your opinion. If it's not the opinion you thought it was going to be, then fine. It's not your fault. It's just you're expressing what you thought was in the painting. You thought you saw in the painting, or you thought you saw in the object. I was retired. So, throughout this whole thing, we've talked about artwork, and we've mentioned a few things. One, you know, you mentioned taking a box and putting things in it. And the end product would be your work of art. Yes. So, when we're talking about things and we're talking about objects, and then we go to talk about work of art, what exactly is the difference? Like, what is an object? An object is like just a plain picture frame. Like ordinary. Yes, ordinary, pretty much.
Okay. What is a work of art then?
A work of art is like something that you put together, like different colors, or like,
Could an object be in a work of art?
yes, it can.
So if I took two ordinary objects and put it together and said, "This is my work of art," can that happen?
Yeah.
Interesting. So to you, an object is ordinary, is, like you said, a regular picture frame.
Mm-hmm.
But putting a picture on it, in it, my bad. Putting a picture in the picture frame, maybe even decorating the picture frame would make it a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
So taking something ordinary as an object
Mm-hmm.
into a work of art, but they're not the exact same
Yep.
thing. One can be used for the other,
Yep.
but they're not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, after talking about all this, what is exactly is art to you?
Art to me is like that people, you know how some people probably can't express themselves, probably just in general, like, you know, how like just talking to you like this,
Mm-hmm.
or writing a letter, or writing a song, or whatever. Probably art to me is probably just making something to express their feelings, or to express their lifestyle, or to express what's deep inside of them they want to get out.
So for you, art is more of an expression than anything. Okay, I can see. Well, that concludes our topic for tonight. We'll be back next week with John Bon Jovi and his discussion of music.
Bye, Mr. Clark.
It's nice seeing you.